This is Martin Taub, and we're here at the United Nations at the Youth Forum, and I'm excited to be talking with Patel. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Martin. I am Patel, founder and global CEO of Water and Shark. More than a firm, I am here as a someone who has spent more than a decade working across different families, institutions, borders, and communities.
A little bit about Water and Shark and why Water and Shark is here at the forum.
Water and Shark is a global advisory firm operating at the intersection of law, tax, finance, geopolitical advisory, and the cross-border structuring advisory, catering to institutions, family offices, global businesses across more than 12 jurisdictions. I'm here to represent the simple economic prosperity and the progress, and human values preservation and the life. They are not a separate dialogue. They must be a one unified conversation. The discussion and the dialogue that shapes the human values and the lives of the families and the institutions. That is where this economic and United Nations Forum is.
So why is it important though for you to be here at this forum today?
The reason that I am at the United Nations and representing my beloved country, India, and the Water and Shark at the European Economic and Social Council Youth Forum is today's youth, they do not require a permission. Today's youth is informed, is capable of decision making, and today's youth is knowing that the very such august institutions such as the United Nations, where the laws and the policies being framed and being given a shape, that determines and impact that world that we will inhabit. And that is why the United Nations, this youth forum, bridges the gap. And I really wanted to be part of that bridge.
So how's the experience been so far? I mean, it's been a while you've been here and interacting with folks.
This is my first formal representation, Martin, and it is truly humbling and genuinely experiencing. And the most important, the fascinating that excited me is the today's youth. In my interaction yesterday and today's of all the youngsters, fellow businessmen and professionals, the challenges that they came across, and second, that impatience which is channelized through a structured dialogue, that is giving me hope that the world may have a better working days and even.
Harsh, what's your biggest takeaway from this forum?
The biggest takeover, I will say, the multilateralism. Multilateralism is not optional. It is the only path. Why? In a world which is constant, comprised of various conflicts, climate issues, poverty, the inability of the access to education, healthcare, to young, particularly the children at large. Such problems and the challenge cannot be solved by a single institution, single ideology, or a singular nation.
What message would you like to leave with global leaders and institutions?
I believe certain things must be sacrosanct. In millions of people day in, day out, particularly the comprise of the young population of the world, children, families and communities, they are living under the conflict and the constant threat because of geopolitical situations, because of a political decision that puts the power over people. And let me tell you honestly, destruction of the human lives has never been and will never be bring either short term or in long term peace, prosperity or progress. I just want to give a simple message, and I hope and pray and believe the same the world will have it. Protect the human lives, protect the human values, protect the rights of every global citizens and the nations to live with dignity, respect and with sovereignty.
And how do you see India fitting into this governance conversation?
Interesting. For me, I'm witnessing the era of massive transformation, particularly in the last just one decade. The India growth exponentially transformed in every walks of life. terms of first, the biggest example if I have to give, the way and manner in which the soft diplomacy has taken over the India stand in any kind of challenge or conflict. Second, I would say digital transformation, the how the state can make a really inclusive and include the all the marginalized community to be at the social cause and the access to the government facilities and the infrastructure. We have a Aadhaar, we have a digitization, and so many, so and so many example of that. Third, I would say global governance for that matter. People that India carries in our root, ancient root, is Vasudeva Kutumbadeva. And that is what the G20 presidency that our Honorable Prime Minister, when we chaired G20, we carry this vision. It's not just a philosophy. Even if you have seen, when the India grows, now I believe that many world leaders have echoed the same. When India grows, the world grows. Because we believe in a values that enables each of us to have a space and to grow and to stand out. And that is what is really important in today's time. The kindness, empathy, and when required, yes, a more affirmation towards your stand. In terms of global governance, I would say one of its kind of its nature, whether India, in last span of I believe 12 to 18 months, where I have witnessed it in my various occasions to British Parliament, European Parliament, and so forth. India has signed n number of free trade agreements ranging from billions to trillions of cross-border free flow of capital, free flow of mobility of people, talent, and so on and so forth. Indeed, that enables creating an ecosystem that talent from across the globe can freely move, capital can move, and we build a really global inclusive society, right? And that is what I believe in coming one decade as we move towards the Vikshit Bharat mission, that is the Develop India mission. I'm sure by then India will not just be prosperous in terms of a GDP number, but social values and the culture that unites the very foundation of the country. That is, I believe, it's very, very important for the global governance, keeping at its core.
Well, what is the one thing that India needs from a global tax perspective?
The hardest thing in the world is the tax. You know? People always say that the investors will prefer the low tax jurisdictions, or they like to plan tax, save tax. But I have to give this message very important to particularly Indian businesses and the India at large. Investors are not worried about tax, although it matters a lot, definitely. But the most important is a predictability. If the taxes are not predictable, the structure and the foundation itself can be fragmented, and that is where investors in the foreign businesses, they are hesitant to invest and to plan India as a choice for destination. And the second, I would say, in a common, all the youngsters of India, it's important that the mindset we always call manifestation, right? So as a citizen, I believe to my fellow Indians, we must manifest that, change the narrative from developing country citizen to first believe in themselves that yes, we are proud Indians and we have capabilities and ability that we have demonstrated in the past, and we will in future will make a prosperous India. Because when you believe, all of us together, your country will also in that have a belief system and will result into the real action. And that is why it is extremely important, because we are nation to just now US is celebrating 250 years, right? India is just we got our independence in 1947, so you can imagine the amount of work that requires for the billion people, right? So that's required a collective wisdom, efforts, and direction in a way that makes the country prosperous, progress, and peaceful.
So, how does water and shark fit into the values that are being discussed here at the forum?
I often hear is the water shark being a accounting and legal consulting firm, how does it diplomatically and the geopolitically is being interconnected. As I said, water shark operates as the intersection of the law, tax, and geopolitical advisory. And we believe in a world where families, safety, security, progress is not determined by boundaries or by circumstance. Through our flagship Water and Shark Foundations. And our core principle is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. World is one family. It is not just a slogan for Water and Shark. It is our operating principle. Whatever actions and decisions that we make, be it form of a commerce, law, or global governance, we make sure that the world is one family, directly or indirectly through our work, and even while advising to our clients. We believe the world is free, we are all global citizens, and collectively, we need to make sure that it is better working and livable.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me here.